So this review was sent to me by a user named Ajushi, and he said that he is trying to get good at Mercy and trying to get to the gold rank. So since we're going to be mostly focusing on improvement, and I'm not going to try and overload you, Ajushi, with any like advanced mechanics for Mercy, I'm mostly just going to be focusing on the fundamentals. So the fundamentals of Mercy are basically sustain your team using your high HPS, and which doesn't need to aim, so it's pretty easy to use. Damage boost whenever you can in order to supplement your team's damage output, and most of all, stay alive using your abilities to keep your team running. So that's what's going to be happening. So first things I'm going to point out is that there are no voice comms whatsoever. And when you're playing Mercy, you kind of need to be able to talk to your team. It doesn't matter if no one else is talking. I'd highly recommend you look into trying to talk. If you don't want to talk because of personal reasons or you don't have a microphone, that's okay. But do know that having a microphone is going to aid you in your ability to make callouts. So if somebody jumps on you as a Mercy, you can say a Winston on your Mercy, for example. And it might be able to help survivability if somebody rotates to help you. Or you can coordinate your team into doing pushes like that. That's the only mark I'm going to make about that. I'm mostly going to be focusing on mechanics this game, so let's have a look. The first things first. You're trying to rotate over to heal the D.Va. That's good. You stay out of line of sight of the enemy team while sustaining your team. Moira gets hooked here. Not a lot you can do about that. Soldier is running away for some reason. Okay. You're trying to heal your D.Va. Doesn't work out. That's okay. So here, I would recommend maybe damage boosting. Well, I mean, now you need to heal your soldier. You heal your soldier. That's good. See if it's get back to the mix. So I'm noticing right now, we're not really pushing at the moment. So if you were in voice comms, I would recommend saying to push. But again, that's not really an option in this game, so that's alright. We heal the D.Va up. So we got Valkyrie. So we have Valkyrie. We have about 5%. Here, I would probably communicate to my team that I have Valkyrie by hitting the ultimate charge button, just so they know that we have the ultimate ready to go. Your soldier is ulting. I would recommend damage boosting this. You Valkyrie here to try and help your team push up. This is a pretty good use of Valkyrie. Your team is already committing ultimates to try and push, so committing Valkyrie to try and sustain all these ultimates is a good idea. I would have recommended, however, that you try and damage boost the soldier for a little bit, just to increase his damage just a tad. Because if you damage boost the soldier ultimate, soldier's ult takes one less bullet to kill. I think 1 or 2 less bullets to kill. So it's very economical, even if just for a few seconds, just to damage boost it until you go back to healing. Here we see it's mostly just a cleanup at this point. Your Lucio does try and go on you. You mostly just try and juke it out. Okay, so I have pre-watched this, so there are a couple things I will be pointing out when I see them. For now, that was a good push. Your team used the ultimate to try and push forward. The enemy team, I don't think, used too many. So point A was a pretty clean take. Point B is going to be the real task here. Trying to heal my Reaper, but D.Va's in the way. Mercy struggles. Junkrat's going to try and ult to get a pick. Okay, so here you see the Junkrat ult, right? Sorry, so let's stop here. So you see the Junkrat ult. It's coming towards you. You already heard the sound cue before, but your immediate response is to try and still heal your D.Va. As a Mercy, it is still your #1 imperative to stay alive. You cannot heal anybody if you are dead. And Mercy is probably one of the hardest to kill supports in the game alongside Lucio because of her slippery nature. So if we go back again, so let's go back and have a look at that again. A little bit too far there. Oops. Okay, so we're healing the Reaper. Our Junkrat ults to try and get a pick. The enemy Junkrat ults. Okay. Here's the part where you heard the sound cue, you know it's coming from in front of you. What I would have done is flown to a target that you know would be able to easily kill the tire. So, Soldier, for example, can one-shot the tire of Helix or take it down pretty quickly with his bullets. Junkrat was ulting at the time, so he can't really help you. Reaper, if he's lucky, might be able to do it. So your best bet is probably Soldier. But the point is, you make space, right? You buy more time for your team to shoot the tire rather than you fly straight into it. So you need to make space between you and the thing trying to kill you. So but instead of doing that, you try and heal your D.Va, try and push forward, and you get punished. Yep, and he just ults you. And so we see here, right, that Junkrat has gotten 2 picks of his ultimate. That doesn't matter, because your Junkrat has died while ulting because the soldier peeked around and tried to kill him. And you have died because you have tried to push forward to help your diva into a Junkrat ult. When in reality, you should have pulled back, stayed near your soldier, and maybe healed your Junkrat to keep him alive in the middle of his ultimate. So even though that your Junkrat has gone 2 picks here, it's not going to mean anything because now it's just a 4v4. And because the enemy Junkrat is on the defense, he has respawn ad, so they get the advantage off this because they're wasting time. So we'll see what happens after this. Yeah, so your team's just kind of floundering in the choke now. They can't really do anything. They can't push. They don't have enough support.
A speedy recovery.
So it doesn't help that your team is running free DPS, so it is going to be a little bit difficult to push forward. I don't really know why you went that way. I think you're just checking something. It's a bit of a waste of time, but that's okay. It's alright. I do that all the time as well. Oh, we got a pick. So now that you have the pick, you can now go attack the objective. Your diva also try and clear the point out. So this is the point where your team should be pushing in. It doesn't get anybody, but that's okay. It pushes people out of position. Yep, your team's ulting. So now here's the point where you damage boost your soldier. You should be damage boosting him. So here right now you should be damage boosting your soldier. No one really needs healing. Just let this fight play out. Clearing the point out, you've got a pip. Okay, so we'll stop here for a moment. So in this fight, right, you were trying to heal people up to get above to full health, and that's fine and all. But you don't need everybody to be on 100% HP all the time. It is economical to heal your team, yes, but it would be more economical if you had damage boosted your soldier ult. Because again, damage boosting a soldier ult bypasses a critical threshold. So let me explain what a critical threshold is first, actually, just so I can get it clear. So a critical threshold is when you damage boost a character either via Mercy's boost or maybe a oh, that's not actually a definition. Sorry, let me rephrase. A critical threshold is when using a certain combination you bypass the amount of damage needed to kill an enemy. So for example, a direct hit from Junkrat's bomb and then a concussion mine together will do around 240 damage, I believe. So when you combine those two together, that is a critical threshold because that will one tap any 200 HP hero in the game. Alternatively, Trap does 80 damage and Concussion Mine does 120 damage. So if a 200 HP hero runs to the trap and you blow a Concussion Mine under his feet, that is a critical threshold because you're doing just enough damage to kill him. So if Soldier Ult, if you damage boost the bullets, instead of taking, I think, about 10 bullets to kill a hero, 11 bullets to kill a hero, it now only takes 9. So you basically bypass a critical threshold by damage boosting him by words I cannot think of them, sorry, by increasing his DPS, and you shorten the amount of time it takes for him to kill somebody. And that 2 bullets is all it can be the difference between a kill and somebody getting to cover or getting some heals. So I would recommend in the future when you're looking at these team fights, you don't always need to keep everybody at 100% HP if you know that damage boosting a high priority target will kill the enemy team, so you can always heal afterwards. Still, with all of this said, you still win the fight because your team managed to dump a lot of ultimates into this. So you're gonna get, I think, you're gonna get Red Reaper. That's good. Sustain the team fight, get him back up. So you've gotten 2 ticks. So this push is already really good. You got 96%. Okay, so here, right? They're all pushing out. You hear the soldier ult. There's a bastion in front of you. Your first response should be, I need to get to cover. So I would have opted to go for this spot here to stay out of the line of sight of this soldier and that bastion, so you don't get shot at. However, you were in the middle of the fight right here, within clear line of sight above the soldier and the bastion. And if we look here, you just kind of face tanked the entire thing. Yeah. So yeah, you should have been over there. Lucio's ulting here. Like, this fight is lost. You already dumped all your ultimates into this. They're probably going to win this. That's okay. You already got 96%. That's already good enough. Yeah, so this is just a really basic thing. You probably should have been over here trying to heal your team from the sidelines without getting caught out, rather than being in the middle of the fire and just tank everything. So as a result, you just tank the ult. Now that you're dead, your team doesn't have any sustain left, aside from the Moira. Everyone's critical. There's not enough heals going out. You lose this fight. So losing the fight was expected, but so you probably would have lost that fight anyways. Even if you vulked that, I doubt it would have been enough healing to keep everyone alive. But
Yeah, wait, let's regroup.
it would have been it would have been better if you had been in cover and not been the first to die, because then you can think about the options you have. So you can think about like how many opportunities do I have to try and make to salvage this rather than just die immediately from being in the middle of open fire. So your team's gonna try pushing again. You already got 96%. That's really good. That's a really good push. But so that's already good. So Junkrat's gonna try and get a pick now. This is good. You're damage boosting your soldier. Now you're free Junkrat in case somebody tries to flank him. It does get shot down. That's unfortunate. So this Valkyrie here is a bit questionable. Simply because I'm not sure what you're trying to gain with this. With the last Valkyrie you did on the point A push, it made sense. Your team was investing ultimates. Your Valkyrie would have been good to supplement those ultimates. Here, your Junkrat has just ulted, but unfortunately it's already been shot down. So your team isn't able to get a pick, and no one else is investing ultimates. And whilst it may have been true that you can use Valkyrie to try and push your team forward, you notice here that all you're really healing right now is a D.Va. All 3 of your teams is over there. They're not getting anything from your Valkyrie. So I don't think the Valkyrie was needed here. That being said, I do think the initiative you're trying to do, try and pushing your team forward, that's good. That's really good. I appreciate your initiative, and that is a really awesome mentality to have, but make sure that you are on the same page as your team whenever you're trying to do these things. Let's keep going. Let's see how this goes. Your D.Va goes in, you're Valkying your team in. Your team is taking the hint, they're all now grouping up, that's good. Everyone's still a little bit spread out, but that's okay. Trying to keep your Reaper alive. That's good, this is good healing. You're healing your Reaper up, keeping him alive, this is really good. Team's gotten some picks. Yep, okay, so here, so again, you can be damage pushing your soldier roll, but it doesn't really matter, you still get all the kills, so that's really good. So that was a good push. The Valkyrie did work out in the end, but there are times where Valkying first like that is going to be a bit inefficient. But it did work out that time, so that's really good. That was a really awesome, good job of you, man. So now we're on the defense. You're going to go with the Mercy again, that's good. So let's just recap what happened at the attack round. The A push was really good by you. You played that really well. You stayed in cover. You kept your team alive where you could. And then when your soldier ulted, you Valkyried to try and supplement that to keep your team pushing forward. That was a really awesome push. That was really well done. With the point B push, we want to make sure we're focusing on staying in cover and trying maximizing our potential of our team with damage boost. We don't always need to keep everyone on 100% HP. The important thing is that we win the team fight, and that means sometimes damage boosting ulting targets so that you can keep them going. So other than that though, your heals were really well. Like you are managing your heals pretty well. The people that are dying were probably going to die anyways, regardless if you were going to help them or not, unless you died first. So remember, the main lesson to be taken from that round is to acknowledge where you're standing, and remember that it is your job to not die. So like you need to be in cover, you need to be flying away from danger, not standing in the middle of it. That would be my first tip for you on the attack round. So we're gonna have a look at the defense round now. We're gonna have a look at this. Mostly we're just chilling. You're damage boosting your soldier in preparation. That's good. That's good. I would fly up to your Junkrat and damage boost him because he's gonna be trying to shoot some. He probably will be trying to shoot some grenades into the enemy. And the grenades, when they get damage boosted, go from 120 to 156 damage, which is a lot of damage. It's enough to like 2-tap. You hit a critical threshold because if 2 grenades hit a 250 HP target or a 300 HP target, they die, rather than before where they would survive on a sliver of health. So, but this is fine. You're damage boosting your soldier. Soldier is another good critical threshold target. Nice pick on Pharah by your soldier. That's really well done. Mercy reses it. That's okay. Force out the res early. So now I'm gonna rotate. How about Junkrat? That's good. Soldier needs healing there. You're gonna go for the res. This is a safe res, so that's a good res because the Arista shield's in front of you. That being said, soldier is still in there for some reason, so you need to get out. Nice. So here, right? So here. It's not bad right now, but you'll notice that you are currently sitting in the middle of your team. And in some situations, that's fine. In this case, particularly because I believe it works. But sometimes if they have like a Winston who jumps on you, and you're going to be hit by a lot of splash damage, and you're not going to be able to escape because you have no fly targets. You're just going to have to sit there and tank it and hope somebody else peels for you. I'd recommend taking a couple of steps back, staying in your cover, trying to play a little bit far away from your team, so that if somebody does jump on you, you can Guardian Angel to them to make space between you and the person trying to kill you. Now, this isn't always the case. There are some times where you are going to have to stay close to your team. For example, if it's a tracer, you are probably going to have to stay a little bit close to your team to make sure they can peel for you. Because trying to 1v1 a tracer is very difficult and is very map dependent. And you need to be able to heal your team still. So there are some situations where you do want to play close to your team. But always remember that you want to be trying to make as much space between the person trying to kill you and yourself as possible. So, let's see how this keeps going. Healing your Joker, that's good. So we need to fly over to your Roadhog, keep him alive. He's self-healed, that's really good. Here I would be damage boosting your Ursa. She doesn't need any healing. You just squeeze out a little bit of damage. Nice, we still get the pick anyway, so that's really good. So that could have been a damage boost. That's really minor. That's not really anything too bad. So with damage boosting the soldier again, there is a Lucio for some reason trying to be a DSP stanky and failing horribly. We heal our Junkrat, that's good. Roadhog is attempting to 1v6, he has failed, so that's again really good by you. Keeping your Junkrat alive, that's a really awesome job. That's really well done. Then we're damage boosting Orisa to try and get some extra ult charge for both of you guys. That's really good. Sombra gets solo killed. That's really awesome. Junkrat's gonna try and ult and get a pick, try and stagger them some more. It doesn't work out, that's okay. Again, nothing related to you right now. This is just commentary on what's going on. Because this is what should be running through your head. This is what you should be thinking about. Like, what else are you using? What else are they using? If you just use Junkrat ult, that means you're not going to have it for the next team fight, so you cannot rely on it to get a certain pick. So these are things that, while I'm narrating, should be going through your head. So these are things to be thinking about. Alright, so now you're healing Amora. So Soldier is ulting at the moment. Junkrat, you need to be trying to get the Junkrat. So I would have flown over to him to try and help him out, but that's okay. So we're down with just keeping the Soldier alive. We are Valkyrieing this to try and push forward here. That's pretty good. Res the Junkrat to try and get him back up. That's also really good. That's really well done. So now we're just gonna rotate back to the point. There is a Bastion there, so you need to be careful. But you're just staying in the air, being hard to kill, healing your team. That's really well done. This is good stuff. Roadhog did die. You don't have res. That's not really anything you can do. Bastion just kind of mowed him down. That's not your fault. So here, we want to be getting away from the Winston, so where you're moving is good. I would recommend trying to Guardian Angel a little bit more, because I think you don't really Guardian Angel a lot. You kind of just walk. And walking is fine, but like you can utilize Guardian Angel to give yourself a little bit of momentum speed boost. So if you were to fly to somebody using Guardian Angel, and then hold space as it ends, you'll actually glide a little bit further forward, which you can cancel at any time. So that gives you a little bit more momentum, it gives you a little bit more room to work with, it gives you more speed. It's just a mechanic to think about, because whilst walking is... nothing's particularly wrong with walking, you can move faster and get to people faster, as well as survive better if you utilize your Guardian Angel to fly around rather than just walk. So here, we fly to our Moira to keep her alive, that's good. I would recommend damage boosting her here, because Moira ultimate lets her self-heal. And damage boosting the Moira ult makes it go from 70 damage to a 91 damage. Okay, sorry, I was cut off here. So I'm going to go back here, because I was actually going to pinpoint something out here. Yep, so it should be damage boosting that, but that's okay. You're trying to get to cover. Alright, so this point here. Okay, so we are now standing in cover. We know they have a Widowmaker. She just picked off her soldier. So it is now a 5v6. However, she cannot see us. So we are safe in here. The teamfight is happening outside. Nobody is going for you. So what you can do here is, rather than push yourself out, you can stay within these walls and keep everybody topped up from inside this safe spot. Because if somebody rotates to you, you can fly out using Guardian Angel and go to the other side over here and still stay out of the line of sight of that Widowmaker, so you know you cannot get sniped. So by staying in these safe spots, you can give your team healing while putting yourself in minimal danger. However, instead of doing that, you walk back outside and just get punished. So this is my point from earlier. Think about where you're standing. Your primary goal is to not die. Make sure where you're standing has low amounts of pressure so that you can heal as much as possible. Like, think of it as trying to find the least amount of pressure and to maximize your gain. Think of it like that. So you do die. As a direct result, you now no longer have any healing. Soldier for some reason was standing still, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, you lose this. So you're gonna lose the first point. That's okay. Everyone loses the first point. That's alright. We're gonna wait out. Let's reset for the second objective. So this is a bit weird. So overview. I know your Junkrat is pushing forward to try and stagger them. That's a bit weird. I would say if you don't always need to follow your DPS. Sometimes you're just gonna have to accept that a point is lost. So point A, everyone's dead. You don't have a Lucio speed boost. Everyone died. There was no way you're gonna get back to it in time. You should have reset for point B. Sorry. So instead, you've now walked forward with your Junkrat to try and help him out. Except now what's probably gonna end up happening is now that, because both of you are now isolated, you're gonna get focused by this Winston. Junkrat just stole your medkit. You might die here. Yeah. And you die here. Okay, so it is fortunate that your Junkrat somehow managed to kill the Winston. I assume this is because the enemy team wasn't communicating very well. But by pushing yourself forward with the Junkrat, if you two had died, that was a 4v6, and the enemy team has a Lucio. They can just speed boost in, stagger the rest of your team, and then you lose to point B. So sometimes you just need to know that a point is lost. If your entire team isn't there to help, the point is lost. You don't need to push up. Maybe Junkrat goes by himself, that's fine. You don't need to follow him. So always you gotta be thinking about these things, like, can we win that fight? Is that a winnable fight? If no, we gotta pull back. We gotta reset for the second point. So these are things to think about. So they do res the Winston. Your Moira does go down. So this is not looking good for you guys at the moment. If the enemy team pushed right now, this would be bad. Junkrat's gonna ult though to force him back, and that's a good pick. So you're fine now. That means now your team is pretty stable at this point. Oh, Roadhog right side. Yep, you need to get out of there. So don't. Okay, you need to make sure you're not getting killed by that Roadhog. I would have opted to play a little bit further back. That's okay. Works out well. Roadhog's still back there for some reason. The entire team is just gonna stagger him. Yep, and now the enemy team is staggered. That's good. So that's fine. You stayed on the opposite side he was on. That was good. That was really good. You made sure not to get focused by him. So now it's just kind of the 2 CP kind of thing where you just damage your DPS to try and increase his damage. Keep people topped up from chip damage. Junkrat's way too far forward up there. He's gonna get staggered. You cannot res that. That's not resable. So you're gonna pull back. You need to be healing your D.Va now. There is a Bastion behind you. You Valkyrie to try and stay alive. That's okay. So here's another thing to point out. The Widowmaker did die, so this isn't as big of a point as I'm gonna make it to be. But when you are Valking, don't fly still, because it is essentially the same thing as standing still. And if you stand still, you are a very easy shot. Widowmaker can just headshot you in midair. That's your ult wasted. So even if you're not really doing anything, maybe just tap A and D, move around a little bit, just to make it so yourself a little bit harder to hit, because those movements really can mean the difference between life and death. So that's just something to think about. So make sure we don't fly still. Always try and be moving. Make it a little bit easier on you. Those two need healing right now. You probably should have rotated your heals to them, but that's okay. You res the Junkrat. That's good. Okay, and at this point, I think you guys should be able to clean this up pretty well. You need to be healing your Junkrat. Nice. Okay, you need to get out of here. So you should be flying to that Moira. Okay, so here's right. So you tried to walk away from the Roadhog ultimate. What you should have done is flown to your Moira into that little nook and cranny so you can avoid the damage and let your Moira heal you. But instead, you just try to walk away. So again, try and utilize your Guardian Angel more. It's a very useful ability. It makes up, I would say, 40% of your kit. So you need make sure we're using it more. Use it more than just to get to people quickly. Use it to survive. Use it to get around corners fast. Use it to even just go a little bit faster, a couple centimeters. You should be Guardian Angeling more than you're walking, if that makes sense. If we get staggered, that's okay. We're still gonna win this fight, so that's alright. Just something to note for the future. Tracer's gonna die. Yep. Okay, and you've helped. That's good.
Ah, the wonders of modern medicine.
I'm actually thinking maybe you're not Guardian Angeling because of your settings. Like probably look into your Mercy settings. I will go after this at the end, I think, actually, because those are setting base. I probably should have gone over it over the start, so that's my fault. But I'll go over it at the end. We're just gonna look at the gameplay mechanics for now. Nice pick. So there we go. They can't push now. Soldier gets a really good pick off on Reaper. That's good. All right, you should be getting out of here. They're pushing right side. Oh, Winston's on your left. This is a bit of a pincer. You kind of just stand in the middle of the team fight again. Again, we need to be thinking about where we're standing. In the middle of a team fight, if the enemy team focuses us, we're dead. Try and get to safest spots. Try and find the area of least resistance for us to apply the most pressure. That's the correct term. Least resistance, most pressure. That's the correct term.
Guys, try to stay on point.
Staying on point is the least of your problems here, Soldier. Okay, so, yep, stabilize again. We're just going to damage boost to try and build ults for both of us. So damage boosting the Junkrat, see if he gets a random pick. That's really good. Damage boosting Soldier, same concept. We're just kind of chilling at the moment. Again, make sure we don't stand still here. So if there's a Widowmaker standing right up there, bam, you're dead because you stood still. Make sure we're not standing still. Always be, even just 80 strafing on the spot. For like, no, just, you know, ambly moving around, it makes you a little bit harder to hit, and that can be the difference between life and death. So that's just other things to think about. Okay. Yep, so we're blowing free ults into this. We should be winning this fight. Yep, 3 dead, 4 dead. Yep, you win this fight. Uber might be trying to ult you if he's a bit silly. If he ults... No, he's not. Okay, that's good. We res the Soldier. No harm foul. They're probably not going to be pushing within the next 30 seconds anyways. Saves them a couple of seconds. It's not really needed, that res. But, you know, it doesn't really hurt. Like... Okay. So, we're just damage boosting again. Keeping people alive. It's fine. Stock standard Mercy play. Maybe play a little bit further back next time so don't get randomly pot shotted by any long range DPSs they have. The Valkyrie to try and sustain the fight. It's a bit early, but I think it's okay. Like, it achieves its purpose. We might not have needed it, but it's not that too big a deal. Soldier does go down to a Pulse Bomb. Is it safe to res? I would say yes, because the entire team fight is firmly focused on the right side. Alright, I would have rest on the wall here rather than in the middle, just to give yourself a little bit more survivability. Playing close to walls is a good technique as Mercy to make sure you don't take a little bit less damage from line of sight. There's just these little things here and there is what differentiates a good Mercy and like a mediocre Mercy. So we res the Soldier, so that's good. The Vodog's ulting us, so again, let's play in the corner here. Ooh, there's a Tracer in here, we need to get out of here. Heal the Soldier. Tracer, for some reason, didn't focus you, so that's good. So that's a bit lucky. She probably should have focused you there. That's a bit silly on her. So that, you probably should have died in that situation, but I think you still would have won the fight anyways. And the game's over, and you've won. Nice, game's over now. Okay, so 2-1, that's a good victory by you. But I will say that if you want things to focus on, it should definitely be, 1, your positioning. Always make sure you are in an area of least resistance. Stand in places that are out of line of sight of the enemy so that you have a less likely chance of getting picked off. This will save you a lot of time, save you a lot of deaths, and you're going to be able to heal a lot more and get your ult a lot faster. This is really important for Mercy. The second thing that I will recommend you do is look into how to maximize your use of Guardian Angel, the flight thing. So, make sure that we are using it whenever we can, because it gets you to places faster, and it actually increases your survivability, because Guardian Angel contorts your hitbox. So you become a lot harder to hit, because your hitbox stops following the usual pattern that every other hero's hitbox does. It like becomes vertical. Sorry, horizontal. You have like a horizontal hitbox, which makes you harder to hit, harder to headshot. So, again, this is very useful for survivability, but also just to getting from places A to B. There were a couple of times in that game where I think you could have healed somebody if you just used Guardian Angel to get to them rather than try to walk up to them. And there were also a couple of deaths here and there that you could have avoided by simply Guardian Angeling to them rather than trying to walk into cover. So these are the two things I recommend you focus on the most right now. Are those two things: the damage boosting and the use of the Valkyrie right now. That's like stuff down the road. I wouldn't recommend focusing on that right now. For right now, the only two things you should be focusing on is your Guardian Angel usage and your positioning. Those are the two things I would recommend you as a player should focus on if you're trying to hit the gold rank as Mercy. If you can nail those two things down, you will already be at a like platinum level Mercy. Like maybe even diamond, depending on how good you are at it. And those are the two things to focus on. For settings, since I was going to say it, Mercy play has two settings. A couple of settings. One of the major ones that gets talked about a lot is Guardian Angel prefers beam target on or off. What this basically means is that if you have Guardian Angel prefers beam target on, you will fly towards the person you are healing or damage boosting, regardless if you're looking at them or not. If you turn that off, you will fly towards the person you're looking, even if your beam is connected to somebody. This is preference based. I play with it off. I know Anubis, who was a top 500 Mercy in Europe, plays with it on. They both have advantages and disadvantages. For on, it gives you more survivability and you can pull off cheekier flights. With off, you can reach you have an easier time healing people, and you can abuse beam retention to have beams that heal people from like 50 meters away for about a second. This is entirely preference based. I recommend you play around with it and see what you like. I would highly recommend you, though, there are two other things I would recommend. There is toggle Guardian Angel and toggle beam. Turn those off, because with toggle off, it means you need to hold it. And what this means is, I might actually boot up Overwatch to show you, because this is actually like fairly important what I'm going to say. So I will actually boot up Overwatch just to show you what that is. So let me quickly sign in. I probably shouldn't have just showed my email, but you know, whatever. Chat message. So, with Guardian Angel toggle off, what you can do is you can essentially, like cheat your reaction speeds a little bit, simply by flying to people. So, let's go into a training lobby. Let's show this. That email reveal, yeah. Okay, so let's show this. So when I was here, you have the fly target here. So let's say we're out of range and we want to fly to them, right? If I have toggle on, I would need to like spam my shift key the moment I would see him, just so I can see him, just so I can get to him, right? With it toggle off, you can actually just hold your shift key, and you will fly towards the first person you see, even before the reticle comes up. So notice how I flew to him before the reticle even came up. This reticle here came up. So let's try that again. So if we hold shift, we fly to them before the reticle comes up. Saves you like half a second. Half a second can be the difference between life and death. Same thing with the heal team, right? You want to heal this guy over here, but you're out of range. Hold your left click, and there you go. You slice it onto him without having to hit around or try and hit anybody, and you just like that. See, I'm just holding left click. I don't need to try. I can heal him as soon as I can get around the corner. So these are things to think about as well. So that would be my VOD commentary of your Mercy gameplay. So just these are things to think about with your settings and the two things I said about. Thank you very much, man.